Welcome back. It's time for another Disney film review. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, and this is the Disney Film Project, a weekly project series where I watch and review every Disney theatrical release in chronological order, with exceptions and with noted additions. And even if it doesn't apply to this movie, I always include a spoiler warning, as I do often like to talk about endings, and you can't discuss an ending without spoiling a movie. Let's get started. Today's film is Victory Through Air Power, which was released on July 17th, 1943. This 1943 film is about how long-range air power could bring about the end of World War II. It begins with an animated history of aviation, then followed by the introduction to Major Alexander P. de Seversky, who wrote the book that the film is based on. Major de Seversky, then with the help of animated visual graphics, talks about what has been currently happening in the war, followed up by his theories about air power and what could be coming up in its development. This movie includes the Wright brothers, submarines, and a battle between an eagle and an octopus. Let me start right off the bat by saying that while this is an animated documentary film, there is a balance between animated and live-action sections. As I mentioned in the summary, there are 3 main segments. The animated history of aviation, what has happened and is currently happening in the war, and finally what could happen with air power and potential outcomes of the war. I think there's a good amount to learn from the history of aviation, which covers from 1903 with the Wright brothers to planes designed 7 years prior to this film's release. At least that's my estimated timeline guess from watching the segment. As someone who doesn't know a ton about aviation other than moments and highlights here and there, this is a really good kind of segment for me, and I enjoyed learning while watching it. When the history of aviation segment comes to an end, there's an immediate transition to the main portion of the film with the introduction of this man, Major Alexander P. de Seversky, who proceeds to give a lecture supported by animated graphics. And while I enjoyed listening to him speak and seeing the graphics, I liked the first half of his lecture about what happened and what was currently going on in the war, as opposed to his second half, where he projected what could happen with both the war as well as where air power could be going. It wasn't that I disliked it, I just didn't like it as much. Now, is this a movie that I would recommend others to watch? I do think people should see it, but it's not a casual movie night choice, so most people probably wouldn't enjoy it. Is this one that I would choose to watch on my own? Outside of this project, unless I had a specific reason, I'm probably not choosing it. Okay, you can find the full review and more on my website. The link will be in the comments. I'll see you next Monday with the next Disney film review. See you soon!